Okay, so what I want to show you guys right now, I want to talk about a real basic principle in perspective about understanding where the center line is, how to find it, and then how to create your wings, basically, if you have wings on a vehicle. Okay, well, the first thing I'm going to do is, unfortunately, this is something that should have been taught to you guys in basic drawing, okay, but it wasn't, and that's not your fault. Let me zoom back in here. First thing we want to do here in the sketch, uh-oh, that was different. Okay, so first thing we want to do here is let's talk a little bit about a square really quick. Okay, vanishing points. So I'm going to come in here really fast. I'm just going to draw. That was really thick, by the way. Let's get that thin down a little bit. So I'm going to come in here off of my VPs. VP1, I'm going to put another VP2 right here. I'm going to come in right here and I'm going to draw a square really quick, because I have some students who are even getting confused on that, so I might have to tie a little bit of that into this lecture. Okay, so right here, and now I'm going to just come over here. I'm going to draw, I'm just eyeballing this real quick. I'm drawing a basic square right there. All right, now let's start with the principle of how do I find the middle, which students are still getting confused on. How do I find the middle of an object or a box or my vehicle? I have to take the square and I have to cross it and find the middle of that. So how do I do that? It's really easy, right? I come over here and I connect a line from each corner through each corner, and I will automatically have an indication of where the middle is. Okay, so why this is important really quick. Let's talk about a house really quick. How do we draw a house and figure out what the arch of the roof is? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come over right here on this lower side here, and I'm just going to draw a basics of a house. That's the side of a house there. Okay, now how do I determine where the arc is going to be for my house? I'm going to have a rooftop. So I have to come over here and I have to cross this, right? I find the center line. Then once I find that center line, I draw a line straight up, and wherever I decide to end it is going to be where my roof is, correct? So if I end it right here and then connect this line through that corner, this line through that corner, I've now basically created the top arc of my roof, okay? That's the same thing on our vehicle when we do fins. But in order to do a fin, we have to find, did you see here on this house how we had to find that center line that's right here? That's a very pivotal part of us understanding what direction. So the only differences on our vehicle is you might have fins. Let's say I have a fin that's traveling outward this way, right? All I have to understand, so look at me right here, if I have a fin that's coming out, let's say for some reason out of my house, I had something coming out the side of it, right here and right here, all I have to do is go off to the center line, find where that dot is, where that line's being generated from, and then draw it through. And then I could come through this other side, do the same thing through right there, okay? So I have now this little fin right here on the right side. I want to get that fin on the left side. So it's really easy. All I have to do is, first of all, I can trace this line back to vanishing point, and where it clicks right here, I know that's going to end. So let's now find this line that's right here on this other side. I'm going to take this, go up to my center line where it hits, and then I'm going to come back down. Okay, now watch this. I'm going to carry this line over from here, draw a dotted line where that hits there. Now if I connect from this dotted line, or that point through that point, I've now discovered where that fin's going to come out on the other side of the house, right? Okay, so now where it hits right here, I draw a line straight up, and that's basically this shape right here is the same shape right here. Does that make sense? Okay, same principle with how I found the roof. It doesn't, I'm using the center line to measure off of. Okay, now that might have confused you a little bit. Let me come back here. Let me erase this super fast, and let me draw. Let's pretend this is our vehicle right here, and I'm going to have a fin that's going to be sticking out the side of my vehicle. Oops, I didn't want to do, let's do blue. It's going to be sticking out like this right here, and it's going to be coming out to right here, like that. So I need to figure out, how do I draw that on the other side, right? Pretty important. So all I have to do, rule number one, is I have to find the center line that takes place in that square. I've already found it because I've crossed it, right? So now what I have to do is I'm going to come back to this. This is VP1 here. This is VP2. Okay, those are our vanishing points. And come back to this end right here. and I'm going to draw a line that recedes back to that vanishing point. Now, this is how easy it is. All I have to do, I'm going to do this in red with dotted lines. I'm going to come off of this line here, dot, 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 and it ends right here in the front right there. Okay? Then I need to connect that going through the other side, right? And that'll tell me how the fin is going. But what do I not know right now? I don't understand where this fin is transferring through. So all I do is come back to my vanishing point right here, to VP1. I'm going to come over and I'm going to draw a dotted line and find out where that hits. Boom. See where it hits right there? Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to come from the top of that red mark through that dot right there and draw a line. That is going to be my fin now on the other side. That's just this top one that I did. Oops, I dropped my ruler. That's just the top one that I did right here. Now I need to do this other line right here. So I'm going to come in off of this line right now and find where this hits. Look, it hits right there. See that? Okay. Now what I need to do is I need to connect through the same point where this ends at. It ends a little bit above right here. So I'm going to draw a line from here across. It ends right there. And then when that's done, I'm going to connect from that middle point through that point right there. And that is my fin on the other side in perspective. Does that make sense? How I figured that out? The same principle on how I figured out the top of the roof. I need to find the center line for my object. Okay? And then once I have that done, now this all sort of makes sense right here, because that center line is key. That center line is picking up the angle that is transitioning from here to here, and I'm just using that as a marker point. Okay, that's how things are staying square. It's the same principle that I just did with the rooftop. I've just taken that example of the rooftop and I've drawn it in a perspective view. That's it. So let's say on the front of my vehicle now up here, let's say I have a fin that's going from here to here, and that fin is jetting outward like so. Okay? I'm even going to put an angle on it. Okay? Now I need to figure out how does that fin work on the other side. Okay? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to VP1 here. I'm going to draw a dotted line really lightly, connect through from there to there. Now I know this distance from here to here is the same distance as this fin point right here. Okay? Once I get that done, now what do I need to do? I need to find the angle of this line. Here, I'll do it in green, which is right here. Do you see that line right there? And where am I going to draw that to? Anyone? Please tell me I haven't confused everybody. Okay, I'm going to draw that to the center line of the object. So as I draw that angle and find it, it hits right here. And now I'm going to connect that through the front right here. Do you see that? Like that. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to draw this angle right here. See where that hits? It hits right here in the back. I'm going to come back now and draw that angle through right here. Okay. But now I have to find where this fin ends right here. How do I do that? Anyone? But actually, it's even easier than that. I'm just going to recede this point right here back to my vanishing point. See? Dotted line. Where that connects right there. See, I just figured out where the other fin ends. Now all I need to do is figure out this angle right here. I'm going to do that in yellow for you. See the angle of this fin right here? I just need to figure that angle out. So now I'm just going to come from here and take that to where it hits the center line. Where that hits there, now I'm going to connect from that dot to that front tip, and that'll give me the exact angle of that fin. So I'm going to come back here and hit that exact dot right there and do it in green. There to there. If I draw a line, you can see where that connects. Okay, so this fin shape right here, drawn on the other side, oops, that was my bad, my ruler slipped there. That fin shape right there on the other side is going to be exactly right here. Does that make sense? I'm just transferring the perspective over. So this is the same principle. I have some of you guys that have already had a ship. You didn't, and I should have probably covered this in the beginning. That's my bad. Okay, but now I'm going over it with you to sort of, some of you guys are adding fins to your ships. But this is how I figured that stuff out. Once this is done, the rest is really easy. The rest is really simple. I have this already established right now, and what's really great is I could even check this. Watch this. I'm going to come back to this vanishing point. Okay, I'm going to take my blue line. I'm going to connect from this end right here. See that end? Right here. And if I draw a line through, look at where it hits on the other side. Exactly the same corner. So I know I'm spot on. It's the lines carrying through right to the other side. My perspective is correct now. So these fins that I have drawn are being properly represented off to the other side. Okay? All right. So let me do one more. I want to do another example for you. Some of you guys started drawing in your ships, and some people didn't watch part of my demo that I did when I talked about your perspective being right on. So what's happening is I'm getting a lot of students that are drawing, doing their work, and you're working close up like this, and you're on, here, I'm just going to rough this super quick, okay? Just bear with me for a minute. You guys are working like this, you're on your ship, and one of the things I notice is many people haven't even drawn through the shape. They haven't figured out where the other side is. There. So now I figure that out. And here, I'm just going to do this super quick. Someone has a ship that's like this. And then they have a fin right here that's coming out of that ship. And now they have to come over and they have to draw that on the other side. Okay. The first thing I'm noticing is, what do I not have here? I don't have, well, you're right, Andrew, I don't have a center line, okay? But what else have I not done in perspective yet? A lot of students are just eyeballing it right now using a ruler. I have no measuring lines set up indicating where my vanishing points are because I've zoomed in on part of my ship here, okay? So let me show you what you should be doing in order to correct that problem. Okay, let me come back. What I need basically is I need my measuring lines right here that have the indication of how my lines are traveling in perspective, and then how those lines are starting to adjust upwards towards my horizon line. I need that. That is paramount. Don't give up on me, guys. You're 80% there right now. Once you get this part down, you will be able to draw robots or anything else out of your head, and then you'll be able to zoom in and always be asking yourself these questions and figure out how the perspective is working, okay? You're 80% there, almost there. So look, I'm going to take this layer down real quick. I'm going to come back over here. Let's try that again. I'm going to add in another layer. So this is what you need to do if you're having a problem and your perspective is off. I've done this yesterday. I had numerous meetings with about 4 different students, and I did this every time for a student. So I thought, you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I'm here to help you guys. I want you to understand the stuff, so when you leave here and you go off to another school, you wipe the floor with the competition because you understand how to do this. Okay, so this is the difference. I'm going to do it for you really quick here. Okay, I put a horizon line in here. I'm going to set up VP1 right here. I'm going to set up VP2 right here. Once those are set up, I'm going to come back in here right now, and I'm going to throw down some trace lines real quick here. I'm going to create a super rough grid. I don't care about the spacing right now. I'm just doing this as a rough grid that's going to indicate to me what's happening on the surface plane here. Okay, let me come back in the other way. By the way, this is another reason why Instructor Phil says get yourself a good ruler, one of these big fat boys for $5, not one of these real, I have a student that had a ruler that's that big, 3 inches. That's not going to work. You need something, even the one that Hung has. I'm going to hold that ruler up there. It's about 12 inches in length. That one will suffice, and you will get by with that. Raymond, you had a question.
Yes. When you draw the grid,
yeah,
spacing always matters?
Right now, I'm not being exact with it. If I wanted, I grabbed the bottom of the paper. If I want to be exact with it, I could figure that out later. I can show you how to do that.
Yeah, but like, does it matter though? Like,
Right now, I'm just using the grid. I'm just drawing a rough grid for, like I said, for just placement. So my perspective doesn't have to be 100% key. I mean, the spacing between the squares doesn't have to be 100%. There is a way to figure that out. I can show you that, but right now that's not that important. This is a grid that makes me feel that there is something tangible. I have an indication of where the ground plane is. Okay, now let's come in. Now let's say that your ship is going to be right here. Okay, give me a second. So, and you know what? This is my fault. I probably should have, when I covered this, I thought some of you guys would know this information already, and I might have jumped forward on this, but I want to show you some of you that are still having perspective problems on your vehicle. I'm going to show you how we fix that right now, okay? So remember that vehicle I just sketched really rough a couple minutes ago? Here's my cube now, okay? I'm going to draw through my cube real quick. All right, dot, 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 dot. Let's come back here. Let's get this other side. And then I'm going to come back through right here. Okay, oops. Something was off there. That's probably the thickness of my ruler being flung around here. And it was. I was slightly off right here. Wait a minute. Let's go back here. Yep. That's my bad. There we go. Okay, that's us drawing through. That just the thickness of my ruler moving a little. Was a tinny off. So there, I've drawn through my shape right now. Okay. What I want to do really quick. Now this is for you guys. So if I get one of your projects and the perspective's off, I'm going to come down on you hard because now I've given you a couple extra days and I'm showing you how to fix this. This is how you fix it. Now I'm going to come in here. So I've asked numerous students, well, where's your measuring line? And they said, well, what measuring line? Well, I covered this already. It was in the demos. I'm going to throw down a line right here, somewhat close to my vehicle. And I'm going to throw another line down right here, vertical line. Then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to measure. I'm going to just jump in here and I'm going to put these little indications of what's happening in my perspective. Right here. Do you see that? The reason why I'm doing this is once I zoom in to my drawing to start working on it. Uh-oh. My finger slipped off the... Hold on a minute. Come on, Phil. What happened there? Wait, hold on. My computer's having a heart attack. Go. Stop. Nope. It's still going. Okay, let me try that again. Uh-oh, not rotate. Let's try to move it back a little. And stop. Okay. I lost my VP there. So here, I just want to get these lines in here. There we go. So my lines are exact, and you can see the angles of the lines now, right? Now, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to do that for the other side right here. I think I scaled in by accident a little bit. There we go. I want you guys to be able to see this fully there. Now I'm going to come back over to my other vanishing point. I'm going to do this on this side really quick. Boom, boom. That's done. The lines are in there. Okay, let me finish this up. Let me get these other upper angles right here. The reason why I am doing this is now as I go in and start working, hold on a minute, I missed a couple there. There. Let me back up. Now as I go in and start working on my sketch, my perspective is sealed tight. Because now here's the difference, is that when I go in here and start drawing now, I'm going to enlarge this. And see, I can't see my vanishing points now, can I? Where are my vanishing points? They're way off my screen. But how do I know if I'm going to come in here right now and if I'm going to draw a line coming down here on the side, how am I going to do that? I'm going to take my ruler, and as I plop it down here, I'm going to draw a line right here. And I want to figure out, is this the right angle? No. How do I know that's the off angle? Look at where it fits on the measuring line. It's incorrect. So I have to come in here. If I come in here and I do this, this is what I'm getting from students. That looks partially right, but is that right? No. And how do you know? Right here on the measuring line. Look at the correct line between these two marks is going to be at this angle, which means that line is going to be right there. Does that make sense? So if I come back over here and if I have to draw a line from this point receding back, I'm going to pick the point where I want to draw the line. I'm going to line up my ruler to right here to where it fits, and then I can just draw the line across. This is how I get accurate perspective when I'm working close up on my ship. I've had numerous students that are sort of forgetting part of this process. This is an important part. That's why I decided to give you guys extend the projects by 2 days. And then next week I'll cover lighting, We'll talk a little bit about rendering, and then you guys put some of the finished work on your projects. Okay? So this is really, really important for me right now. So real quick, let me draw on top of this. Let me back up here. I want to show you the next problem that I encountered with a student. Okay, as I had a student, we'll just continue off of this drawing that I have here. Okay, oh, if I can get it to stop moving. There we go. All right, let me open this up a little bit more. So the next issue that I had is I had a student that was working on a ship. Let me go ahead and dull this down a little bit here. You know what, let me take off that other red line. There we go. So I'm going to dull this down a little bit. Okay, so I can still see the lines, but now I'm going to create another layer up on the top so I can draw on top of it. All right, so I had a student that was working on a ship, and what he did, and this isn't a bad thing, this is actually a good thing that's going to get, it'll allow you to get a little bit more advanced, is he came in here like this and he created a center line, which was a great idea. He had a center line for his ship that he sketched like that, and into the side of that. Then what he did is he came out and he started, I'm going to switch to blue again, and then he started sketching a basic idea of what his ship was looking like this. Don't ask me why I sort of have Boba Fett's ship in my mind for some reason. Okay, and he got to that. Okay, what's the problem here? What's missing? The other side of the ship, right? Which is fine. This is a way that a lot of artists work. It's a valid way for working, is thinking about that cut through shape first. Because now we're drawing through the shape. So how do I figure that out? What's the first thing I have to do? I have to do what was called proportional division. Does anyone remember what proportional division is? I need to find out what the distance is from here to here and get it to the other side. Okay? So in proportional division, I'm going to do it up on top here right now. Actually, here, I'll thin down this layer, and I'm add another layer here, and I'm going to do it right here for you. Okay, this is proportional division from a side view. Hold on, or there it is. So here's proportional division. I have a square that's right here. I need to know where that square is going to be on this side. So what do? I'm going to come over here. I have to find the middle of the square. I find that middle. Then I draw a line for where that middle hits this edge right here. Once I find that edge, I then connect from that corner through that line, and where that line hits right here is now, see that? That's now my next square. Did you see how I figured that out? That is called proportional division. We're dividing something up, splice it through this. That is key. In order for me to get that mark, I have to know where the middle is, so I draw an X. Okay, so the two pivotal points in proportional division are finding that dot and going through that corner, and then that allows me to find out what that square is on the next side. So when I come back over here, let's bring this back up, and I come back over here to my ship, I need to know now, oh, that's weird, I have some weird mark in there. Let me erase that mark real quick. Wow. I don't know why I'm getting a lot of lag time on this for some reason. Thanks, Microsoft, for the updates. Okay, so now I have my ship there. What I need to figure out is there's two ways I can do this. Let me show you way number one. Okay, I'm going to create a new layer here. Way number one, to find what the ship is on the other side. Okay, I'm going to split it really quick. I'm going to split it this way. There. There. Now I'm going to draw that center line. Oops, sorry, I zoomed out real quick. From here, it connects with that line there. And then I'm going to connect from this corner. Remember those two spots? That corner through the middle. Watch. See what I just did? And now I'm just going to continue the line from here to here. That top line back in perspective as well. And where it hits, right there, is now the other side of my ship. Voila. Okay. Now, that was way one, right? That was method one. Watch me do it again. This time I'll do it from a front view. I can do it anywhere. All I need to do is this distance from here to here. So here, I'm going to come back in here now. This is going to be version 2. Hold on. Yeah, good. I have a new layer. I'm just going to split this anywhere. I'm just going to come in here, and I'm just going to split that section right there. I'm going to cross it. Dook. Dook. Find the middle. See that line back. Right? Now I found the two. I needed that edge through that corner. Where that hit right there. I'm now going to come back to my other vanishing point over here. And where that makes that line. See how I just figured that out? The other one's a little bit further, but that's just because I might be a teeny bit off. But you know what? That's probably because I squashed my shape or moved my ruler. But that's the same principle of how I find that other side. Okay? So, you know what? That's probably my ruler being a little bit off, why I'm a teeny bit off. But what the key way that I would do it is I would go for the main shape here that I'm replicating, which is this shape, because this is touching it. Okay? So, once this touches it now, how do I find out where this touches it on the other side? Well, I got to draw the box. I got to draw through the shape. So I'm going to recede the other side of this box back in perspective here. I'm going to line up my angle. Hold on a second. I just lightly sketched it in. I want to make sure I was on. Actually, I was a teeny bit off there. Let me get that line in there. Let's get the top of this box drawn in here. There we go. I'm going to recede that line back. Okay, now I know all that. Let's recede this line back here. Okay. Again, this is me being off a little bit, sliding my ruler around super fast. And the middle should be about there. This is me just doing this fast. Yeah, my top angle was slightly off. Right there. That's where it should be. Okay? There. So now I've drawn through, and even this line here, see that? That was crooked compared to the line that was down below. It should be about right there. There we go. This is the importance of being spot on with your lines. There. Now I've drawn through that shape. So look, I'm going to continue. I know where that curve is going to go, right? And I know it's going to end right here. So all I have to do is draw a line along this wall, take this line, recede it back this way. It's going to connect through that same line right there. Recede that line back then to the other VP, VP2. And then I'm going to draw a line from that point back through here, and where it connects right here, see that? That's going to be the curve. It's going to go from there back to there. So that is going to be the curve of my ship being replicated. See how I figured that out? I drew through the shape. That's the importance of drawing through the shape. Okay? And then here's the center line of my ship. Let me highlight that in red so I can see it a little bit easier. That's the center line of my ship. It's cut out in here. Okay? And then, so let's say I want to figure out, I figured out this point to that point, but then I have it bend up and sort of come back, right? So where it comes back up, look at where that curve's going. It's hitting that center line right there. See the angle? Even though it curves before, that's fine, but I'm just going to get the flow of that curve to come from there. So if I come back from that center line now and measure from here, I can get the curve of what that ship would be doing. See that? Just drawing through, figuring out what's happening on the other side. But it's being overlapped by the front of the ship right now, which is right here. So this is going to just come through. Technically, it might curve up, and even where this sways up a little bit, I could even figure that up just by drawing a center line if I wanted to. But now I have correctly drawn this other side of the ship. Okay, let's continue through here. I have the center line of the vehicle that's right here going through that connects through. Okay, let's say in the back now, not to complicate things, let's throw a fin in. Who wants to throw a fin? Yes. Let's throw two fins coming out the top right here. Okay, real quick, I want to wrap a couple lines, contour lines across my ship here so I understand what the body's doing. And recede that back. Dot, 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 dot. Okay. That's what my ship's doing right there. I'm going to wrap another line over here in the back. Okay. Dot, 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 dot. I can even figure out where the lines are connecting through. There. Okay. Now, I'm going to put a fin out the back tail piece right here. So here, I'm going to start to sketch that really quick. What do I need to know to do that fin? I need to know that center line. So watch, I'm going to come back right here. I'm going to sketch the fin that I want first. I want this fin right here. And I want to get something that's... Hold on a minute. This is off. I need to fix this because we changed... I extended part of this. Give me a second here. It's not that one. Nope, not that example. Yeah, let me just take that down right there, and then I'll just draw on top of it. Right here. Add another layer. Okay, here. So I'm going to have a fin that's going to come out this way like this. I'm going to recede. You know what? Hold on, guys. I wanted to keep my measuring lines up so you can see them. And I've been jumping around from layer to layer here. I want to make sure that we're correct here. There. I'm going to get that in just a little bit, and then let me come over here. I need to erase part of that line because it's been changed. Because here's sort of our center line that hits back here. This continues through. So, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just... I don't need that. Let me delete this layer real quick, guys. Let me pause for a minute. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I just wanted to stop for a minute here. I wanted to clean up a little bit of my my drawing here. So here I have my... I just had to merge some layers together. Here I have my ship that hits here. That's the end tail right there. Okay, I just drew this line through right here just for my own preference. So if I like to do that when I work sometimes is sort of draw through to figure out where the other shapes are. What I'm going to do really quick is just lightly erase some of this down here so it's thin and I have a good idea of what's happening. You know what, and this will probably confuse you too. I should angle that there so we have a good idea of what's happening there with my ship. And then now you can see the center line that's dropping back here. That's right there. Okay, so a fin. Let's come over here. I want to come in here right now. I know exactly where the center line of my ship is. I know where the center line is running down. Okay, part of the back here. All right, let me erase that though because I want to... Okay, so now let's come in here. I want to put a fin down here. So I'm just going to go ahead and section off this area right here. I'm going to just throw a fin coming off at an angle like this. And I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to throw another fin coming that way. And then just to save time, I'm just going to recede this back to the vanishing point that's already back there. Okay, so I'm going to round my fin off right here. There it is. I threw a fin there. Now, let's say I want to see the fin on the other side. If I were to draw this fin right here, I'm probably not going to see it because as I measure through, okay, right here, you can see, first I need to do is find out the distance of the fin going across the other side here. So I have that distance to that distance. I'm just going to measure across right here and go there. I figured that out. I'm going to recede this back to VP1 on the left. Now I've drawn through the shape. Now I've figured out where the fin's going to be. See how I did that, right? Now all I have to do is I'm going to find the center line, bring that center line back through here, recede that back to my other vanishing point. That's right here. I need to find this angle right here. So I'm going to draw up, and where I hit that angle right there, I'm then going to come through and draw through that side, and that's going to give me an indication of how far the fin's coming down. Okay? And then the same thing here. This fin's at a slightly different angle, but I need to find the center line of where it's hitting this object right here. So if I come across and recede that line, here's that center line right there. I'm going to come up. I'm going to find that angle. It hits right here. And then I'm going to draw that through the other side right here. Okay? So basically, and then if I recede this back here, I can tell that my fin is sort of, it can't be seen because it's through the other side, the other body here. Okay, the body's overlapping it. But what if I want to bring my fin down further? Out. Let's say I bring my fin out that far now. Now I should be able to see that fin on the other side. So let me come over here. Let's draw that. I'm going to connect through here. Okay. Now let's say I want to measure the exact distance. This is a square in here, isn't it not? Okay. This distance from here to there, and from, hold on a minute. I didn't check that. I just drew a line really quick. This exists inside a box. Okay. So if I follow this box shape, split it from the center here, find the middle, cross it, come from that point, that fin's in that box, right? Find the middle, bring that over, drag that through, about right there, cross from here to here. I could see that it's going to end about right over there. Now I'm going to come over and just connect these angles through. That's going to come up, it's going to come down through this point. Part of that fin's going to be dipping down at an angle like this. Part of this is going to converge here. So even at that length, I might see just a little bit of the tip of the fin through there. It's not quite long enough because the body's overlapping it. But I was able to figure out how that worked. I feel like I might be even confusing you even more. But let's say over here I want to throw a fin. Okay? Let me pause real quick. Use the heck out of you guys. Okay, so now let's draw another fin in here. This one's going to be hidden. We figured out the distance from here to here on what was happening on the other side. Let's come over here and just throw a fin that we know is going to be seen. So if I come over here and I just sketch up a fin that's coming out like this, right here. Okay, now we know that's going to be seen. So what we have to do is we have to translate that to the other side. So that's actually pretty easy for us to do. We know right here where it's connecting, where it's hitting at this line. So I'm just going to draw a dotted line across, and I can see where that connects right here on the other side. I'll put a little red dot there. Now I need to figure out where the fin is ending here. So this line, I'm going to just draw a parallel line wrapping around the shape. I'm going to bring that parallel line back through the other side. I'm going to bring this back through right here. And then where it hits here, I'm just going to merge that line across to that VP1 on the left, and it hits right here. So now I know that this distance from here to here on the other side of my object is right there. Do you see how I figured that out? Okay. Now it's just figuring out the angle. I'm going to draw a center line that comes down. I'm going to bring this line down through here. And I'm going to connect that line through that point right there. And that's going to be that fin coming through the other side. Okay. And then the next thing that I need to do is I need to do the same thing for the other side. I'm going to come through here. There's the center line in the back where that connects right here. I'm going to connect that line through this line right here. Okay. And that's part of the angle of that fin on the other side. Okay, let me get that drawn in there. Now I need to figure out the height of the fin. So I'm going to recede this top corner right here back to the vanishing point. I'm going to connect through. It ends right there. And now I need to find this height of this fin. I'm going to recede that back. It connects right here. I'm going to connect these two lines right here. And then I'm going to clean up any of the leftover line that I have in there. And now I figured out how that fin is going to look on my vehicle. Does that make sense? How I figured that, just like I figured the top of the house. I'm using the center lines of the object drawing through. Now, I don't see as much as this fin right here because of the angle that's happening right here, the way it's sort of tilted. But that's just fine. I'm still able to figure out in perspective how that fin's going to be seen on the other side. Okay? All right, let me go ahead and end this right here. I want to render this today. Any questions on this before I get rid of that? But I walked you through all those progressions. If you're missing one of those steps right in here, if you didn't do the grid, if you didn't do the measuring line up there, spend the time between now and next week to get your perspective down tight, to get it nailed down. You know what proportional division is. That's when I split a square and I find out what's on the other side. Okay? We know how to figure out all this information now. Get that done correctly in the perspective working, and then your vehicle will make sense. Okay, let me end this.